Hello there and welcome to the Newcastle versus Liverpool preview. The final day of the season is upon us. It's going to be every single kickoff is happening at 4 o'clock and this is going to be the final Liverpool game. It's obviously being played away at Newcastle as well. A team that so far this season have actually, I feel that they've done okay. I know that their fans have complained a lot. Obviously a different change in styles and different change in management from Rafa Benitez to Steve Bruce. But in general, I think that they've done okay. So before I get properly going into this video, please do feel free to get your comments in below about this game. What do you think is going to happen in it? And what do you expect maybe? I don't know, is it going to be a pretty free and open flowing game? Are Liverpool going to make a lot of changes? Are they going to get some more youth players involved in the starting 11? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, I want to look at Newcastle just briefly as well. Newcastle, at this moment in time, sit in 13th in the Premier League. They can drop no lower than 14th in the Premier League. They are on 44 points. They are well and truly safe, and they have been for a couple of games, it has to be said. And that is something that Newcastle fans, I feel, can take a bit of heart in. I know, and I've watched Newcastle a couple of times this season at least, and I know that their style of play isn't the best to watch. It can be a little bit dry, it can be a little bit boring, it can be a little bit, hard to get through sometimes, but there have been some games where they really turn up and they play some good football as well. The one player, and I just want to make sure that he's not on the injury list here, he's not. There are a lot of people on Newcastle's injury list. I'll go through those first. Lascelles, Hayden, Clark, Lejeune, or Lejeune, however you say his name, Fabian Schär, or Shah, Sean Longstaff, Emil Kraft, and Colback as well, Jack Colback. Now, apparently, I think Steve Bruce has said that Hayden could be back, and someone else as well, but I can't remember what the other name was, but he's expecting maybe two people off this list back from injury. But the other player that I really look out for in terms of Newcastle and when they play, he just makes it so much more exciting to make, like when I see a Newcastle game and it's on TV and it's not at the same time as a Liverpool game, I want to watch it because I want to see what this Allan Saint-Maximin can do, because he is a very, very exciting player. One of the most exciting players and wingers in the league this season. Forget things like, I know people put a lot, they put a lot of things in stats, like goals and assists, and he might not have the biggest amount of them, but what he does in his overall play is nothing short of exceptional, and he really makes this Newcastle team a little bit more exciting, so that, years gone by when Newcastle, if they're going to get someone on the counter, they can't, because they haven't necessarily got, the pace and the power and the technicality to go forward and get past defenders or get themselves past a left back and whatever, and then you get someone like, I know they have Almiron, who is becoming a very exciting player. He's starting to contribute some more goals as well, and his pace and his willing to drive through the middle was very exciting at first as well when he came through. But he needed someone else that had a little bit of star power about him as well, and I felt they got that with Saint-Maximin. I thought it was a really good coup, or a really good signing by Newcastle to bring someone like that in, because it gave Newcastle exactly what they didn't have out on a wing. And it seems like he can play on either wing. He can play on the right side, he can play on the left-hand side. He's very good with both feet. He's a very technical dribbler. Like, he can put balls past defenders, past players, almost at will, whether it's flicking it up over someone's head or just, nutmegging them really stylishly. He's a very, very stylish player, and seems to have put a lot of his, earlier on this season, he was getting a lot of injuries and stuff like that and wasn't necessarily being able to play like game after game, but seems to be putting games consecutively together and seems to be a very good outlet for Newcastle going forward, getting the ball forward and supplying others as well, whether he gets the assist or, as the Arsenal fans would like to say, the pre-assist to the pre-assist to the pre-assist. You know what I mean? But no, very, very exciting player. And I look forward to seeing how he, whether he plays on the right-hand side and he's got to try and, take on Andy Robertson, or he takes on Trent Alexander-Arnold. The one thing that could go in Saint-Maximin's favour, despite how well our defence is and how reputable our defence is at getting back, we will leave gaps. And there will be gaps for him to be able to get himself in behind. And he's a very, very quick, pacey player. He will cause problems. I guarantee he's going to cause at least one problem. Genuinely, I really do think that he's an exciting player, and I'm excited to see him play. Obviously, there's nothing on the line for us apart from getting 99 points, That's it. That's the only thing that is there for us. I'm excited to see Maximin playing, and I'll put the question out there if any Newcastle fans are watching this. Is this a player that you feel that you'll keep hold of next season? Because he's a very, very exciting player. I think he's 22, 23 years old, still very young, got a lot more development to go. And in my opinion, I do feel that he could go into a top 6, top 8 team with ease. I really do. I think he could get even some of them's, starting 11 for sure. I really do believe that. So let me know what you think in the comments below about that one. He is the player I'm looking out for the opposition. In terms of Liverpool, I think we've only got two listed injuries on here, which is obviously Jordan Henderson and Joel Matip. Everybody else should have a clean bill of health. I would like to see a couple of changes. I really would. And whether it means, I personally feel that Salah's out of the Golden Boot contention anyway, but I feel he's been a little bit flat the last couple of games, and I would like to see a change there. Whether it means it's a Minamino comes in, and I'd love to see him get involved, get much more involved in games. I want to see Minamino getting more game time next season for sure, because I don't think he's had enough. And I know Klopp likes to take his time with signings. We've seen it with Fabinho as well. I think Salah's really the only one who's really hit the ground running and just kept his place since he came in. And I know, Klopp, as I said, likes to take his time with signings, let them bed in properly, and we'll see more from Minamino next season. But I'd like to see him play. I'd like to see Harvey Elliott getting a shout as well. I know he's been on the bench and stuff, and I think he's missed out on a Premier League medal, although he's on Instagram with one. I don't know if it's someone else's or anything like that, but officially, Harvey Elliott doesn't get a Premier League medal. I'd like to see Curtis Jones start, obviously with Jordan Henderson not starting in games as well. I'd like to see Curtis Jones start. I'd maybe like to see some of the other guys that don't get a shout maybe get a bit of a look in. Do we see the last of, Xherdan Shaqiri? Could Divock Origi be playing? A lot of people reckoning that Divock Origi could actually be on his way out in the summer, and I would raise my eyebrow at that because I think he's done enough to be a good bench backup. If anything, if he's going to be anything, I think he's very good. I think he's earned that, in my opinion. A lot of people disagree and say that he should be sold on and we should be looking for bigger and better. But it's very difficult to look for someone who wants to, is happy to sit on the bench and contribute in the heroic styles that he has done, especially last season as well. In terms of defence, you could see a shocking one, and you could see Lovren come in. Apparently he is on the verge of a £13 million move to Zenit St. Petersburg, which has been reported this morning, on Friday morning by James Pearce from the Echo and stuff like that as well. Regardless of what happens, you could see, Lallana didn't get to make an appearance at Anfield. I don't think that Jurgen Klopp is necessarily going to be romantic about it and get Lovren just back in the team just for the sake of having him in there, maybe for his last appearance. Could Lallana feature in the midfield? It could definitely be an option. I'd like to see him involved. And Lallana's, it is definitely going to be his last game for Liverpool, at all. So I wouldn't mind seeing Adam Lallana, whether he comes on as a substitute or he comes on and he starts the game, whatever. At this moment in time, the only thing that is available to Liverpool is to get to 99 points and better our points total of last season of 97. That's the only thing that we've got. So it is very much a free hit for Liverpool. They can sort of relax and hopefully enjoy their football as well. It is an opportunity as well because I think that the next season starts on the 12th of September. So it gives you like 7 weeks worth of a break. I say break, it's probably not going to be full 7-week break. I imagine you're going to get like 3 weeks off, 4 weeks prep time or something like that, or something in between that. And also you got the transfer window that's going to go on behind the scenes and stuff like that as well. There are many other changes that Liverpool could make here as well. Could we see Ki Jarnehove come into this game? The likes of Sepp van den Berg as well, the other defender. I don't think he's going to make wholesale changes, stuff like that, where he's going to put Adrian in goal and stuff like that. I don't think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see a fairly strong Liverpool side with maybe a couple of changes here or there. Let me know who you think is going to be starting for Liverpool. I would like to see some changes just to freshen it up on the final day of the season, and so we can maybe see what we're going to get in the future from like a Harvey Elliott or a Minamino and such like that as well, and a Curtis Jones and all these other youth players that have recently, in the recent, this week as well, that have all signed new contracts as well. Leighton Clarkson springs to mind as the last one that I saw that signed one. In terms of a result, I think that a result in general, a win or a loss, it does nothing for either of these two teams. For Liverpool, it would mean if we go out with a win, it means that we go out with with a positive. We beat Chelsea, and then we go out and we can win this game. Puts us on 99 points and puts us in a good mood for the summer transfer window. For Newcastle, a win would be a positive for them as well. It would put them on 47 points and could possibly it would still they can't go any higher than 13th at the moment because of Southampton are too far ahead, and they can only drop down below Crystal Palace. They could go into 14th place, obviously, if Palace win their game. Otherwise, they stay 13th. A pretty good season for Newcastle all around. What Newcastle needs to sort out is this whole ownership thing. I've looked at it here and there, but this whole ownership thing with Newcastle has been going on for far too long, to the point where I remember the early buzz where it was like Newcastle are going to get new owners, they're going to sign Kylian Mbappe, and they're going to sign all this, that, and the other. Man City's owners are only going to be worth 50 billion, and this guy's worth 325. It's all this sort of stuff, and then slowly but surely, because nothing has happened, the hype train has totally fell off the wheels. It's gone off the tracks, and Newcastle fans, rightly so, are aggrieved because they don't know what's happening. They don't know. The worst thing that could happen to Newcastle is that they go through the transfer window ends, then they get new owners. Because then it's like, well, why have you done that? Why have you waited that long when quite clearly this Newcastle team needs recruitment, needs a lot of recruitment? There are some areas that don't need a lot of touching up, but there's a lot of areas, especially in attack, that Joe Linton isn't the one. Having Andy Carroll back, as romantic as it is, isn't the one. Dwight Gale contributes very, very well and is a dangerous player. I'll never forget him from Istanbul 3-3. Never going to forget that, ever. He can be a much more effective player than the other two I've already mentioned, but still, is he, the level that Newcastle fans want to be, where they want to be going for mid-table, getting into top 9, top 8 and stuff like that? Are these players going to be the ones that do it for them? Probably not, and then into midfield as well, they need a lot more in there. They need a lot more in there, people that are going to supply the front lines as well, and they just don't have that at the moment. They don't have that, and they haven't had it for a very, very, very long time. These investors and buyers and whatever the Premier League is doing in terms of holding it up, they need to turn around and literally say, it's not fair on the fans. So they have to turn around and say, yes, we will allow you to take over, or no, we won't allow you to take over. Find another buyer. That is what needs to happen. You can't keep these fans, these loyal Newcastle fans who create one of the best home atmospheres for them. They go week in, week out. Obviously, pandemic aside, when they went down to the Championship, they were filling that stadium up left, right, and centre. They come back up to the Premier League, and when their football isn't the most exciting, they were still filling that thing up as well. It's not fair on the fans, and I don't have an affinity for Newcastle at all, but I hate it when I see fan bases being taken advantage of, in my opinion, and I feel that this is what this is. It's almost exploiting a fan base and taking them to, taking them to an emotional level of just why are you doing this to my club? Why are you taking, you really, you're stretching my love for this club, because they don't know what's happening. They don't know where the progress is coming. Why aren't they allowed to be taken over? Why is the takeovers taking so long? There's been so many takeover proposals for Newcastle over the years. Is this going to be another one that falls through? I don't know. I really, really don't know. But I think it's been a long time overdue for the Mike Ashley era to end. It needs to end at some point. Whoever takes it over and actually has a desire to turn that football club into something bigger than what it is, because it is a big club. They've got a big stadium. I remember a quote from Newcastle fans a long time ago saying that they've got Champions League fans in a Championship level club, and it sounds true. To be fair, they back their team home and away, and are listed as being one of the best teams. I'm not someone that can go up and down the country and support and go and watch football and stuff like that, but these guys do it week in, week out, and you can only applaud that. You really, really can. So in terms of a result, we'll come back to that one. Had a little bit of a tangent off there, but in terms of a result, I think that Liverpool should be going out here and winning the game. I don't think it will be a clean sheet. I think that, as I said before, I think Saint-Maximin will create some issues for us and will at least create one goal scoring opportunity, in my opinion. And I think, if anything, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Liverpool win, but don't be, surprised if it's a little bit closer or anything like that. I think I'm going for a Liverpool win, obviously because it's my Liverpool team, but we never know how we're going to turn up on the day, as we've seen recently since the restart anyway. But hey, let me know what you think in the comments below ahead of this game, the final game of the Premier League season. And then also we will be getting on to, there's going to be another video where I'm looking at the rest of the Premier League standings, the Champions League places especially, and the relegation places, all in one video. It will be coming out after this one. So let me know what you think in the comments below about this game and everything else that I've talked about as well. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again, and I'll catch you later.